I'd like to call the meeting of the Education Committee to order. And at this time, Mr. Keener, would you give us a word of prayer, please? Keener or Keen?
Sorry. Please join me in prayer. Father God Almighty, we do thank you for this wonderful day and an opportunity to serve you in your will. Dear Lord, just thankful today for our life and the gifts that you give us. Dear Lord, I ask you to look down upon our Cherokee people and bless them and guide them to further serve your will. Dear Lord, we know that wintertime can be harsh, and we ask for your mercy on some of these families we got out there. Dear Lord, ask you to bring us a wonderful spring and new life. Dear Lord, just bless us here, the leaders of the Cherokee Nation, and that we may serve your will through our people. These things we ask in your Son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. King. Roll call, please.
Chuck Hoskins.
Here.
Don Garvin. Jill Anglin.
Here.
L. John Baker.
Here.
Jack Becker.
Here.
Arthur Connor. Joe Crittenden. Meredith Fraley. Here. Heather King. John Keener.
Here.
Jackie Bob Martin. David Thornton. Carol Cotton Watts. Phyllis Gargi.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from December 12th regular meeting. Have a motion. We have a second. Any corrections, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Minutes stand approved. Reports. Diane Kelly, welcome. She wasn't here a minute ago. Okay, Dr. Morton.
It pleases me to meet with you this morning and to get ahead of Diane, especially. We have scheduled several items for you this morning. We've also asked the department heads to hold their reports to a minimum so that we won't take too much of your time. First thing I'd like to talk to you about is that we are implementing several new processes for getting information out on scholarship information, scholarship applications. And by the way, we do have a box of scholarship both for the undergraduate and the graduate scholarship for you to pick up those scholarships today if you'd like to take some with you. Also, if as your clientele from your districts contact you about scholarships, you explain that scholarship is online if you do not happen to have one with you, or that we'll be happy to respond to a scholarship mailing upon a phone call. The next thing involving scholarship applications is that the Education Services Department has entered into a cooperative agreement with Human Services. Human Services has a new initiative to try to get high school students to think more about the possibility of employment opportunities with Cherokee Nation. So we want high school students to think about the Cherokee Nation as a possible source of not only financial assistance for higher education, but counseling for higher education. So those two departments, Education Services and Human Services, will be visiting every high school in the scholarship eligibility area prior to the end of school for this session. Our first meeting will be in Washington County on I'll have to find the date on that. It is February, I believe February's the first day of February of Washington County, and we're going to go as a group, and then we're going to see how that works by making Bartlesville, Dewey, Caney Valley, and Copan in one day, and try to set up meetings with especially with high school counselors or the contact persons, Indian Ed director, whoever is most apt to have an opportunity to visit with Cherokee students about both possible employment opportunities with the nation and scholarship opportunities. Then we will notify each of you when we will be in your districts and try to give you a 2-week notification so that if possible, it may be possible that you would want to drop by some of the schools and visit with school officials while we're there. The next thing, the valedictorian salutatorian program, which you approved, that information will go out 2 times. It will go out first time when we notify the superintendents about the Higher Education Summit, where the car tag checks or the tax commission checks are distributed. And we will have those letters going out the last part of this week. Wanted to check with you first to make sure our tentative date is February the 23rd, which is a Friday. Wanted to make sure that there weren't any special council meetings or that would cause that date to be a bad date. So if that date is generally a good date, if I do not hear from several of you that says, hey, that date's out because that's on a Friday.
On a Friday.
23rd. February 23. So if that date is okay, then we'll have the summit. Summit meeting will probably be at the new gym at Sequoia.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Morton. I was going to say, if anyone has conflicts and if there's enough of the people who can't be here, please notify our office by this Friday. Yeah. And that way, Dr. Morton, beginning Monday, you can go ahead and carve in stone. And obviously, there's not going to be a time maybe when everyone can't be there, but I mean, obviously, the majority would like to be there if at all possible. But by Friday, please notify. And if we have the numbers that has to be changed, then we'll do that.
And other than that, everything is business as usual. We do have the NSU degree program personnel here today to give you a short report on the NSU baccalaureate degree program. Verna Thompson could not be here this morning. She asked that I leave with you the Senate committee assignments for the 110th Congress, and of course health, education, labor, and so forth is highlighted on this program or this list for you, because when Congress goes in session, we know that Head Start is probably in trouble. It usually is when Congress goes in session. One of these days we'll say, hey, Head Start is fully funded and everything's great, but hopefully it'll happen 110th Congress. The other report that I have, Gina Stanley is not here today, and at last meeting she was asked to report on the percentage of enrollment of Cherokee students at Sequoia, and that is 66%.
Of that percent, Dr. Morton, are they all commuters?
No.
We do have some.
We do have some.
Do you have any idea what number that is?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, with that, unless there are questions.
Any questions for Dr. Morton? Dr. Morton, just a comment. I certainly appreciate the fact that you're going to go to every school in our districts and the surrounding area that qualify. We've sought this for many, many years, and for whatever reason, it has never happened. So I appreciate your leadership in getting this done. I appreciate the notification when you're in our areas. And again, I want to just express my appreciation. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to express my urging of, we will provide you ample time to hopefully that you can schedule at least some of the schools, into your schedule so that you can be there too. Plus, now on the letter that goes out concerning valedictorians and salutatorians, I'm going to include in there that representatives from the council in the respective districts would be happy, schedule permitting, to attend their award assemblies and so forth.
Mr. King, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Morton, just want to add on to the support from Sequoia to go out to try to meet with families and citizens outside of 14 counties. And there's so many places to go, and I think the weather kind of stopped some of the folks from getting out to California, but they tried, and very much appreciate that. There was a lot of families out there who would very much like to make that connection with their children to get back home here, and just hope that continued support will happen, and we'll get some of those Cherokee citizens back home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moore.
Yes, sir.
Is Miss Kelly back in the room?
Yes, I am.
Oh, welcome, Miss Kelly. We'll move you down. We'll move you down a little bit so you'll have time to get here.
That's right. You will.
Thank you. I just want to report that the Takalua Job Corps Center is full. We are at capacity. We have been since November, and we're one of probably 12 centers in the nation that has been for the last 3 months. So a big woohoo for Jay Littlejohn and his recruitment and outreach and placement staff, because they're doing an outstanding job, and they're all to be commended. They worked during the Christmas break when a lot of the classes weren't going on. That group was out there still beating bushes and made sure that we had students coming in. We have a mentoring program. Lynn Shalapaw, who works with Joyce Rose, they're working on mentoring. If there's any of you all that would like to come over and speak to any of our classes over there, we're more than happy to have you come over. Just contact them. Let's see. Next Friday is National Groundhog Day. We'll be doing job shadowing all over the Cherokee Nation with our students at Job Corps. It's a national day that Job Corps students go out and job shadow in various capacities. Graduation is set for February the 16th, which is on a Friday. We'll also have our community relations noon luncheon and recognize some of the partners that have worked with us this last year, and get invitations from Sue Ann and Joyce regarding that. It's on Friday, February the 16th. Tomorrow we have a meeting scheduled with Todd, Linda Donaldson, Angela Drews. We're working on the property which is behind the Job Corps, which is coming this way. It's going to be leased to Career Services, not the Job Corps, but to Career Services. We don't want it leased to the Department of Labor. But we're going to be putting our trucking program out there, and it's going to be a trucking program that Career Services is going to be doing, but also Job Corps. And we're visiting with Yellow Freight. They have brought some trucks up. They were the national contractor with one of the other Job Corps centers, and we're looking at that as a trucking program, which will tie in with our building and apartment maintenance and our materials handling. In addition to that, we're looking at constructing a little metal building and using it as a VST project so that our electrical and the building and apartment maintenance class can do some of the interior and exterior work, and also our buildings trades program. So it would house about 3 of our training programs over there on that side of the fence of the training. So we're going to be meeting with them tomorrow regarding that. I just want to say that there's a lot of good positive things going on. This stuff that Dr. Morton was talking to you about and what we're doing. I want to make sure that Dr. Morton includes vocational in on that when you go out to the schools, because we got one even for vocational people, and we want to be included in on that. Any questions?
Any questions? Got it, Diane?
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Shelley Butler Allens, welcome.
I've been told to keep it very, very brief, so I'm just going to pass out some things. What I'm passing out to you is our program booklet resulting from the Cherokee art competition that we held in December, and we held a reception for the students, first, second, and third place winners, January the 9th. And so first, second, and third place winners in all divisions and categories are in this booklet, and the best of show pre-K through 5th grade is on the left-hand side, and 6th through 12 is on the right-hand side, the best of show. So we had some good publicity. Muskogee Phoenix came in and took some pictures of the best of show, and there was a big cover front page thing about the student winners and the art competition, so we were real pleased with that. But anyway, I just wanted to pass these around. They're wonderful, and it's all Cherokee specific depiction of Cherokee life ways, famous people, places. So if you'll just pass those down. Another flyer, we're kicking off our Cherokee Language Bowl this Thursday at NSU. It'll be for the 3rd through 5th grade, and it's just a flyer that's going out to the schools today. I'll pass this around for your information. If you all want to drop in and be an observer of some of the competitions, it's just wonderful seeing our children really begin to pick up on the words and phrases of the Cherokee language. So we did have to postpone K through 2, which was to have been today, due to unpredictable northeastern Oklahoma weather. So that'll take place February the 6th. We've already rescheduled that. But for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be busy with our Cherokee Language Bowl. So let's see. I think that's it. Yeah.
Are there any questions? That was short.
I know. I was told to make it short.
But it was a good report.
Okay, thank you.
Good report. Thank you very much. All right, moving right along, we're down to new business, NSU PowerPoint presentation, and Mr. Kirk.
Hi, it'll just take a second. I need to turn on the computer and there we go, and I'll try to keep this relatively brief. Something my students would wish more of.
If there is that.
I understand when you're done with the remote and smile.
There's one behind Taylor.
No, that's for the wing.
Behind the other side.
Windmill.
Yeah.
They want me to get it.
Oh, it's got a function key. I think you have to do the function key.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, she's telling you, but she's moving over there. Stop it. Both sides.
Pot smells its own hole.
Don't you go do some bad.
Why is it put that? Yeah, it smells better over here.
Go take the cigarette.
Let's go. Hope it doesn't load up.
You got bad one again.
I'm having some more time to
You guys turn that off to show them gray hair.
Well, if it doesn't load up, I can provide the information. So, while they're trying to fix that, I'll go ahead and introduce two of my colleagues here who have come from NSU, who were gracious enough to attend the meeting today. We have Dr. Terry Baker, who is the chair of the Languages and Literature Department at Northeastern State University. That is the department in which the Cherokee Program is under. We're part of the Languages and Literature Department. Next to her is Dr. Paul Westbrook, who is the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, which we're under as well in Seminary Hall. And I was just going to give you a brief status report on the Cherokee Program and a brief report on the Cherokee Nation Language Scholars.
Excuse me, just one second. The secretary is wanting some other names in the back for her records. So if you could introduce somebody else you brought with you, or did you?
Oh, Sherry Holcomb, who works for Cherokee Nation in the curriculum. Jeff Edwards, who also works in curriculum development. Joseph Erb, who is the technical person who
Has no
trying to fix things with Ben Phillips. Bonnie Kirk, who is in the back row, who I don't know, I've never met before. And myself, Wyman Kirk. I'm the coordinator of the program at Northeastern State. Did I get everybody?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes. Regarding the Cherokee program, we're starting our second year of operation, our second semester of our second year. We started in fall of 2005. We are now in, obviously, spring semester of 2007. During that time, during the course of our year and a half of operation, we've taught over 29 classes and taught to over 450 students. Thus far, we've not had difficulty in terms of recruiting students, and the numbers for our classes that we offered have been either full or near full. So interest in the program by students at Northeastern State and outside of Northeastern State has been pretty high. So we've done a pretty good job, and just in terms, I think, word of mouth with the program. Now, here in a minute, I'll be talking about the Language Scholars Program. We have those applications ready, and I'll pass those out here in a second. So we also, however, want to recruit. So if you know anybody in your communities who are interested and want to attend Northeastern State University, interested in the program and the Language Scholars, we have those applications, and I'll cover that whenever we get to the Language Scholars. For the Cherokee program, just a reminder of what we are. The Cherokee Education Degree Program is a Bachelor of Education in Cherokee at Northeastern State University. It is a 4-year degree. We have 40 hours in our Cherokee that students have to take. The ideal and the principle from which we're working from is that we're trying to create people who are speakers of Cherokee who are also certified teachers of the language. And the ideal placement for those who graduate with the degree will be to be at the immersion center as immersion teachers or teaching in some other immersion center environment. The degree, however, is flexible enough that students who graduate will be able to teach in public schools Cherokee language classes, much like you see as you see with foreign languages such as Spanish, French, what have
Let me
you.
interrupt you just a moment. Ms. Camelos, you have a question.
Did you say the numbers on the actual people? I understand that there's a lot of interest in the classes, but how many are actually in the degree-seeking program and on that path?
We have 25 students who are declared Cherokee education degree majors.
For masters or?
A Bachelor of Education.
Okay.
25 declared majors. We have 13 who have identified themselves as potential immersion teachers. So a little over half of our declared majors have said they intend to be immersion teachers, preferably teaching in the immersion school here at Cherokee Nation.
And those are the ones we fund, right?
Yes. But some of them, there's actually a couple who are not eligible to be funded either. They're not members of the Cherokee Nation or, well, that's really the
But the ones we fund are Cherokees who have declared to go into the immersion program.
Right.
Things.
Yes.
They'll go out in the communities and work.
That is correct, with the language scholars, yes.
Thank you.
So there's the power. I think I've covered all of that. We have a 3-year language track. We're in our second year. 25 students, taught 29 classes. We've developed various audio, video, written materials in Cherokee for our classes. One of the problems that we've seen with teaching these classes is just the lack of materials that we have. And so at the same time we're teaching classes, we're having developed materials for those classes. We've started, as part of our work, a Cherokee language forum that is now a featured part and a permanent part of NSU's annual Indian Symposium, which is held every April. And so this April we will be having another one of those language forums. So it'll be the second language forum, and it is done all in the Cherokee language. Are there any questions on the degree program before I move on to the language scholars? Okay? So with the Language Scholars, so just a quick note on what the Language Scholars program is. The purpose is to provide funding to Cherokee Nation citizens who will be Cherokee language immersion teachers. There's a caveat. If someone goes into a language development field and arranges this beforehand, they don't necessarily have to be an immersion teacher, but we're primarily looking for people to fund who will be immersion teachers. Eligibility, we really only have 2 eligibility requirements. We do have a priority system, but in terms of yes or no, if someone can apply, the main criteria is that they have to be a citizen of the Cherokee Nation. And then secondly, of course, they have to be at Northeastern State or intend to be at Northeastern State and declaring as a Cherokee degree major. Now, in terms of how we're selecting students for the Cherokee Nation Language Scholars Program, we have a ranking system that we use to sort of select the students that we're looking for. These are our main criteria in selection. Language proficiency level. Someone has a higher degree of proficiency in Cherokee, they'll score higher. If they have an earlier expected graduation rate, because we want to get people in and out as quickly as possible, they'll score higher. We're looking for someone, obviously, who demonstrates scholastic ability, because not just as part of our program, but getting through the education college and through Northeastern, you have to have sort of minimum GPA and minimum sort of standards in terms of making it through the program, so students do have to demonstrate that scholastic ability. Intent to teach immersion. And there is an applicant interview process that's part of this that factors in as well, basically asking some of these questions, but also other issues, questions about the student's desire to teach, ability to teach, what have you. And then finally, demonstrate some financial need. In terms of the administrative structure of how the Language Scholars Program is operated, you can see that it starts with us in the Cherokee Program in terms of selection and things like that. There is a committee, however, that will be meeting to select scholars. We pass on the funding list and the information to the chair who reviews it, which is Dr. Baker. This is then passed on to the dean, Dr. Paul Westbrook. And then that is sent to the Cherokee Nation Education Group, and Jennifer Pigeon is our contact point there. In terms of those current students, which Kara was asking about, we have 25 currently funded Cherokee Nation language scholars. Of those, 15 are already proficient, fluent speakers. And as you can see, 10 are second language learners or are reacquiring the Cherokee language. So we're kind of top-heavy in terms of those individuals who are speaking. These numbers are going to switch, because as we get into the program, we're probably going to recruit more students who are not as proficient in Cherokee. And among these students, we see that 9 already have a bachelor's degree, and our GPA for our typical student, not just in our classes, but overall, has been very high at 3.0. Just general information, graduation rates. We have 3 expected graduates who will be graduating this time next year in spring of 2008. We have 1 expected graduate in fall of 2008 and 2 graduates, potentially more, it depends on how many hours other students take, but at least 2 who are expected to graduate spring of 2009. Now it's the time for a question and answer. I'll go ahead and start passing around the current application that we have for the language scholars. You can see if you have any questions, there's the contact info. You can contact me at Northeastern State, or you can contact Rosa Carter, who's the person who is responsible for the day-to-day administration of the program.
Are there any questions?
And just a note that it is on there, but the deadline for the applications is June 8th. So students do have time, but we'd like to get those. No, we don't have those online, but I guess we can talk with Tanya and we should be able to get that online. Shouldn't be a problem. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us in the program or contact Dr. Morton or Northeastern State.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Under old business, we have the lawsuit report by Mr. Hembry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I spoke briefly with Dr. Morton here today about this, about the Lost City Emerging Program, and we are both of concur that the project's completely finished. They've done their internal audit of it. The Lost City's no longer doing the Emerging Program. Mr. Morton has met with the superintendent, and that pretty much at this point we've done everything that we believe we should do at this point, unless there's further direction from the council. Absent specific questions, I would suggest this no longer be an agenda topic.
I move to accept this report.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Todd, do you know, are there any other Cherokee dollars in education going to Lost City? And Dr. Morton, you might be able to help me, other than the federal dollars.
No.
So we don't have any individual contracts any longer with them or anything like that? Okay.
Lessons learned on all sides.
Sometimes it can be very expensive lessons. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Stands approved. We will strike that from future agendas. Announcements. Are there any announcements? Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We stand adjourned.